Hi Capricorn, welcome to your reading. If you're new to the channel, I do timeless readings, which means that whenever you find this video is when you're meant to hear the messages within it. And in case you subscribe, I upload my new videos for Cancer and Capricorn on Thursdays. So the deck that I'm using today is called the Solabusca Tarot. And as always, if you guys are interested in a personal reading, the link is in the description. But just a little bit on how I read. I usually try to get about 8 or 9 cards, and I usually really only take jumpers, and I usually put back big groups, but today that group of 3 felt particularly important, so I went ahead and took it. But the last real thing that I should touch base on is sometimes the cards will flip on the deck, or rather in the deck. Ooh. And I do see them, however, I usually don't take them unless they jump out like these ones have. So I'm just going to grab you guys about 3 more cards, and then we can get started on your overall energy. These cards are a little bit larger than most, so it is a little bit difficult sometimes to get them to flip out. Alright, you guys, so just a reminder that if you enjoy the reading, please leave a like or a comment. It's the best way for me to know if the readings resonate with you guys. But, like I was saying, your overall energy here is the 7 of Swords. Now, I'm not really going to sugarcoat it, but the 7 of Swords isn't exactly the best energy to have, right? So the 7 of Swords talks about sneakiness, it talks about lying, cheating, manipulating, stealing sometimes. So I feel like you're, and like it's no secret to you. I feel like you guys have seen what the people around you are doing, and it's very infuriating. I feel like you're just kind of sick of it. And you're trying to move forward. You're trying to move past all that. And I'm looking at this 8 of Pentacles here with this Magician. So the 8 of Pentacles to me talks about these cards are just a little bit crooked. But the 8 of Pentacles talks about really mastering a skill. To me, I feel like it's sitting down and really honing in on something or mastering something. So I feel like right now you guys are very occupied with your work, and I feel like that's for good reason. Like if people around you kind of suck, then maybe it's nice to have something else to like focus on for a little bit. Now with the Magician card, like I really do feel that you guys are trying to manifest something. So the Magician is the master of all 4 elements, right? So he's able to create things. He's able to make things sort of appear out of thin air. And that energy, in conjunction with this energy of 8 of Pentacles where you're working on things, I feel like these 2 energies together lead me to believe that you guys are trying to really move by leaps and bounds at work. And I feel like you're going to see that kind of improvement. Because we have the Page of Pentacles here. And the Page of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles to me talks about some kind of a message instability. So oftentimes it's like a new amount of money that's come in. It has to do with like studies, or it might have to do with a kind of promotion or something at work, something that makes you a little bit more stable, right? And I feel like it's coming in at a good time because we have the 9 of Swords here. Now the 9 of Swords is not really the best card, right? A lot of the swords tend to deal with negative emotions or overthinking and in the more negative aspects of the mental realm. And the Nine of Swords is no exception. The Nine of Swords talks about not being able to sleep and being stressed, right? And I don't want to scare you guys, but like definitely you're making strides. You're moving past all that energy. And I feel like some of you are doing it through work, through school, maybe to get maybe to get a better job of some kind. But I definitely feel that like this Nine of Swords energy is coming to a rest. Is coming to an end. I feel like for some of you, you guys might not be sleeping well at night. Especially since I use that word rest. So definitely like take a moment to really kind of look after yourself sometimes, because if you don't look after yourself, not a whole lot of people will. And I feel like you guys have been sort of given the short end of the stick recently. Like it feels like people are kind of taking advantage of you to some degree with this Seven of Swords here. And it might not be anything big. It might be like something as small and meaningless as like, hey, will you go grab the TV remote for me? I don't want to stand up. But like, I feel like it comes to a point where it's just ridiculous. And like, you know, this last piece of hay, the last straw that broke the camel's back, I feel is like how you feel. But, you know, you don't have to like bottle it into a point where like you blow up or anything. Like you can slowly start integrating more rest into your day. And I feel like that's a good way of doing it. Now, there's something very interesting here because we have the Moon card and we have the Hierophant here. So the Moon and the Hierophant are two major arcana and they're right next to each other in the same column for me. So I feel like there's an energy here of wanting to do things by the book, but there's something that you haven't been told or that you don't know. And as a result, it's making things a little bit harder to do that. And I feel like for some of you also, you might be trying out some like more alternative career paths, or you might be doing something that's a little bit more new and foreign to people. And as a result, they sort of give you a weird look when you bring it up to them. So it almost feels like you're keeping your plans a secret to some degree because they don't really seem like the traditional thing that you would do. And, you know, like there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with sort of trying something new, but like do understand that things have risks and rewards and whatever. But I feel like you've already sat down and you've already really thought about that. And it feels like people's thoughts and people's feelings and other people's opinions are kind of getting in the way of you and your work right now. So I feel like in part that's why you see so much sword energy. And let me just clarify that by saying it's not like, oh, concern for you, you know, whatever, healthy. I feel like it's more of like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, like, I'll just put down your dreams or whatever. Because there's some people around you that are very, you know, malicious here, that are nefarious and that have, you know, negative intent in mind. So be careful who you tell your information to. Be careful who you're trusting here. Just like take a second to evaluate, like, does this person have their best interest in mind? Yes, no, and then act accordingly. And I feel like that's not going to be such a big deal for you guys. But I feel like at the end of the day, it's all going to work out because we have the Page going into the Knight, or the King. And they're both the same suit, which tells me that there's going to be a lot of ascension. So we're kind of going from this Knight energy in both these places into a King energy. So I feel like if you're starting some kind of entrepreneur venture, I feel like it's going to take a little bit to get off the ground, and then it's going to kind of zoom off because, you know, I have this sort of mind. I have this in mind right now, seeing this Page sort of evolve into the King. And I feel like that's where you're at, right? Because the King is very smart, very passionate, very motivated, driven, determined, strategic. A lot of those things I feel like are qualities that, business people have. And it's very interesting because you have the Page of Pentacles, which is your element, Capricorn, and then you have the Page of Wands, and then the King of Wands. So it's almost like you're trying to work on some of these qualities that you might not have as much, because you've already sort of worked on your qualities, I feel. And, I'm not saying that in like a rude way or anything. It's just like, we don't all have like every single skill set in the world. So it's a good thing that you're taking time to work on them. And I feel like right now things are difficult, but you're going to see a lot of success in the future if you keep your chin up. But that was your reading for this time around, Capricorn. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a comment or a like, because it's the best way for me to know if these readings resonate with you guys. But like I said before, I upload my new Capricorn videos on Thursdays. But in the meantime, you guys are more than welcome to watch any of my other timeless readings that I have up on the channel. And with that being said, I hope to see you guys next time for your next reading.